everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Andie here in the heart of Hollywood at C2 Organics. And here we are again with an amazing recipe for you. We're doing a crusty chicken breast with quinoa and sauteed squash. So we have our Mary's organic chicken over here, and we have our quinoa that we've just washed. Run it by the running water for a few minutes until you feel that it's properly rinsed out. Then we're going to start with the quinoa first, so that while it's cooking we can get all our other ingredients ready. So let's move over here. We're going to turn on our heat. Slightly spray the bottom of your pot with a grapeseed or olive oil spray. And now we're ready to coat your 1/4 of a cup of quinoa with the oil. And we're just gonna stir it a little bit or shake it about. And just give it a second like this so it just crisps it up a little bit, and then pour your cup of water. My father grew up with quinoa. It was one of those grains that is also a protein, so it's very, very good for you. We're gonna let it here while the quinoa is cooking. We're gonna move back over to our table. I'm gonna take some of this away, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get the crust ready for our chicken breast, which we're gonna pop in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. So preheat your oven at 350 degrees. Remember, 350 degrees, preheat it for about 10 minutes before you pop it in so your oven is nice and hot. What we're gonna do, we've got our mustard Dijon. We're gonna pour it into our Rice Krispie mix with our seasonings, a little bit of salt and pepper. Himalayan salt we're using in this case. We're gonna go grab some of our garlic and pour it into this mixture as well, 1/3 of it, and then we're gonna grab our Old Bay and onion powder mix and just pour it all into the Rice Krispie. And we're just gonna grab my knife and stir it up a little bit like that, just so it can evenly coat to the Rice Krispies. There are some other brands apart from the Kellogg's brands that you can use for Rice Krispies that are a bit more healthier. But this measurement and everything is perfectly measured out for your weight loss goals. So we're gonna grab our chicken breast now, and we have our egg whites here. So we're gonna run this through our egg whites and coat our chicken breast with the egg white. So I'm gonna pop this into my egg white. It's the same way as you used to do chicken schnitzel, but just an egg white. And no flour onto the chicken. And then we're gonna coat it over with our Rice Krispie mix, making sure that it's like nicely covered, like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my bowl, just wipe down my hands. I'm gonna grab my bowl, and I'm gonna move it over to my oven over here. And with your prepared, if you remember, 350 degrees for 25 to 35 minutes until it's no longer pink inside. I'm gonna coat my pan, and then I'll do it one more time in the Rice Krispie and the mustard Dijon, just to give it that little kind of crunchy feeling to your chicken, you know? And I'm gonna pop it in my pan. Move this over here. And back into our oven it goes. My favorite moment. Magic. And having said that, now I'm gonna go and wash my hands. Now we have chopped up our squash and zucchini, just like that, and peeled it, and we're ready to saute it in our pan with a little bit of olive oil and slightly season it with salt and pepper, and it's gonna be delicious in just a few minutes. So I'm gonna season it and mix it in like this. Then I'm gonna move over here, and I'm gonna grab my pan and just a tablespoon of olive oil. You don't need much, just to lightly brown and soften it. So I'm gonna drizzle the tablespoon of olive oil around my pan. Lower that to the bottom. And then I'm gonna just pop my zucchini just to slightly saute it. This is a really delicious meal. It's made, or each serving is made according to your weight loss needs. So follow your instructions carefully if you're on a very strict controlled diet. So let us saute this for a minute or two and just check on our quinoa, which is almost ready. And then you fluff when the quinoa is ready and the water is fully absorbed. You just stir it up to fluff it up a little bit, let it cool down, and then the ideal shape of the quinoa is that it looks like a little spiral. So when you look at the grain, you can see like a little spiral happening under there, and that's when you know your quinoa is really cooked. And just keep stirring your sauteed squash and zucchini for a few minutes. So delicious, I can smell it. Cooking is about your senses, you know, your sense of smell, your sense of taste. So really indulge in all these flavors and tastes. And as we wait for our chicken to cook. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes, so our chicken should be ready. So why don't we go take a look, huh? Let me get... Yeah, it's perfect. So I'm just gonna pop my... There we go. It's perfect. 25 minutes, 350 degrees. Perfect chicken. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my plate and my spatula over here, and I'm gonna pick it up. And this is another recipe that kids would love if you're like cooking for your family because of the Rice Krispies on top. Be like, chicken that goes crunchy boop. So we're gonna put our zucchini that we've sauteed, zucchini and squash, over in the middle. And then finally, we're gonna add our last touch, which is the cooked quinoa. Again, you're having double protein here because quinoa is protein. So there we go. A perfectly balanced meal for your dietary needs. And that is it. We have made a delicious chicken with zucchini and squash and a little bit of quinoa. And that's all for today. Thank you for joining us again. Remember that you can change your life one bite at a time, and join us next show here, Cooking with Andie, in the heart of Hollywood at C2 Organic.